Hello there, Ranger Faithful, and welcome to another Power Rangers Off-Season Reviews video. This video was a lot harder to make than the last two. There have been nearly 200 Power Rangers, and I had to sift through that entire group and pick my favorite 10. As I explained in my clarifications video, I wanted to spread things out a little bit and honor the entire history of the show as much as possible. So instead of taking the whole group of 200 and just picking 10 that way, I decided to pick my favorite Ranger from each team of Power Rangers and then sort that group of 18 into a top 10 list. Now, of course, Tommy can make his own entire team of Power Rangers, so what I did is I picked my favorite Tommy Ranger, and then I made him my favorite Ranger from that season, and I eliminated the others. Did I pick the Tommy Ranger that you think I picked? So, since there were 18, let's take a look at the 8 that I didn't pick and assign some honorable mentions. Having selected Rangers from the 18 teams that there have been, I had to eliminate 8. MEGAFORCE's ROBO Knight, Samurai Gold, OVERDRIVE Mercury, Turbo Red TJ, and Zeo Gold Jason were the first eliminated. Then it was down to 13, which I feel made the next 3 to get eliminated worthy of an honorable mention. So congratulations to the Magna Defender, the Lunar Wolf, and Super Megaforce Silver for being great Rangers that came up just short. Well, geez, it seems like each of these videos starts with some kind of an explanation. But now that it's out of the way, here we go. Number 10, Ryan, Titanium Lightspeed Rescue Ranger. I don't think you can make a list of top 10 Power Rangers without including the first 100% original Power Ranger. Yes, the Titanium Ranger was the first to not have any Sentai counterpart, joined later by Jungle Fury's Spirit Rangers. Ryan's story has a lot of similarities to Tommy's as MMPR Green, but as I think I've said before, you can reuse a story and have it still be good. Ryan is the son of Captain Mitchell, the team's mentor, and is also the brother to Dana, the team's Pink Ranger. When the two of them were children, the three were involved in a car accident where everyone fell out of the car and was dangling from a tree branch. Dana was securely hanging on to Captain Mitchell, but Ryan was going to slip. Then the demon Diabolico appears with an offer for Captain Mitchell. He'll save Ryan, but then he wouldn't see him until his 21st birthday. Mitchell refuses at first, but when Ryan slips, he screams his agreement and Diabolico takes Ryan. Then on his 21st birthday, Ryan steals the Titanium Morpher and kicks the other Rangers' butt for a while. His family finally brings him around and he joins the team. He showed a lot of bravery when he joined the Rangers, for example, fighting through a snake tattoo that the demons placed on him that threatened to kill him if he morphed too many times. And also, his studying of the ruins that the demons came from was instrumental in helping the Rangers defeat Queen Bansheera. The Titanium powers themselves are just awesome, made all the more so when you realize that they were a 100% American concept. The Titanium Ranger helmet has a neat V-shaped visor, and his weapon is an axe that can also be used as a gun, which is kind of reminiscent of MMPR Black's weapon. The gold accents on the suit are a nice touch, and the suit just overall looks really, really good. He's also got a really neat Zord, the Max Solar Zord, which can be used on its own or combined with the Megazord. He's a truly original Ranger. Ryan lands at number 10. Number 9, VIDA, Pink Mystic Force Ranger. Some of these 10 are going to be more awesome Rangers, some of these 10 are going to be more awesome characters. VIDA is definitely the latter. Now, there's nothing wrong with her as a Ranger. I mean, she's basically your standard Pink Ranger, but she definitely had some great moments fighting. But the most memorable things about VIDA are as a character. First, and this might be utterly unfair, but I find VIDA quite attractive. Actually, it factors in another way because she breaks the stereotype of the traditional Pink Ranger. Not the happy-go-lucky valley girl mall lover, VIDA is actually quite serious and has more of a punk look to her, which I really like. She's a DJ at the Rockporium, and she actually takes her work quite seriously. She also has a rather unique and interesting character moment towards the end of the season. One of the 10 Terrors doesn't actually want to fight or destroy humans, and while other Rangers like Xander think, oh, monster's bad, let's morph and destroy them, VIDA actually can see the good in him and stands her ground against destroying it just because it's a monster. And she's one of, if not the only, Rangers that I can recall who outrightly stated that she hated her assigned color. Sorry, VIDA, you're still pretty in pink at number 9. Number 8, Jason, Mighty Morphin Red Ranger. Alright, cue up the oh no he didn't clip about Rita and multiply that by about 20. How did I place the original Red Ranger so low on this list? Well, part of it has to do with Tommy. And if you paid attention to what I said at the start of the video, this just gave you a massive clue about who I did not select. Jason was just a born leader. He was willing to at least listen to Zordon from the very first word. He was serious, intelligent, calm, and even a bit wise for his age. And his character gained depth as things went on, seen for example when he experienced guilt at not being able to recover the green candle. The reason Jason doesn't place higher on this list is because all of the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers are a bit stereotyped and thus come off as a bit 2D and flat. Jason is just the jock most of the time, almost always seen working out or doing something sports. He does gain that depth that I mentioned, but it was a bit too late because he pretty much leaves right after that for the peace conference. The red Mighty Morphin Power Ranger suit is now ingrained in the memory of a generation. The Tyrannosaurus-themed helmet is basically the best of the bunch, and Jason's Zords were able to fight by themselves, as well as being the base of their Megazords. Hey, you guys didn't think I was going to do this without the original Red Ranger, right? Number 8. Number 7, Scott, RPM Ranger Red. My earlier argument that RPM is one of my favorite seasons is seriously beginning to lose some steam, isn't it? Venjix made my worst villains list, and my favorite RPM Ranger only places 7th in the top 10. I guess it's kind of that RPM is more than the sum of its parts? Anyway, Scott is just a great Red Ranger. He comes from a military background, and like Ryan, is the son of the military commander, Colonel Truman. His main driving motivation is something that makes this season a lot darker than other seasons of Power Rangers. His brother died, got blowed up in the initial Venjix attack. He seeks to prove to his father that he is equal in capability to his older brother, and that driving determination is just part of what makes him a great Red Ranger. But he was also a bit headstrong, often rushing into battle without really thinking, and he also had a lot of trouble listening to his teammates, often giving off a my way or the highway vibe that kind of was off-putting at times. I like the look of Scott's Ranger suit. His helmet calls to an eagle, which helps further cement him as noble and a leader. His Eagle Racer Zord is a flying car, and his Street Saber has a great finishing move. Scott and RPM Ranger Red are shifting into 7th gear. Number 6, Andros, Red In-Space Ranger. This is another case of character over powers, although that's really just because of the way In-Space worked. There were no individual Zords, and the suits didn't really have any sort of individual theme besides their colors and slight variations on the shape of the visors. Andros was the primary pilot for the Megazords, and his Spiral Saber was not only an awesome weapon in its own right, but was also the weapon that ended Zordon. Andros is an interesting character, searching for his kidnapped sister, Corone, who ended up being his primary enemy, Astronema. He also felt somewhat responsible for the Silver Ranger, Zane, getting injured in a battle and clinging to life, and thus he didn't want teammates. It took him some time to finally trust the Rangers. There was also a very well-developed, season-long romance between him and the Yellow Ranger, Ashley, which impacted the storyline all the way through the final episode. Set controls to number 6 now. Number 5, Doggie KRUGER, SPD Shadow Ranger. Okay, this is a case where the powers and the character are equally awesome. Doggie KRUGER is the commander of SPD and the Ranger's mentor. He actually has a dark and haunting backstory that's kept hidden until he becomes a Ranger himself. When the first SPD was formed, he and his unit were attempting to save his home world of Sirius from an invasion by the Trubian forces. But they were soundly defeated, he was the only survivor, and his wife was presumed killed, although she turns up at the end of the season. He vowed never to take up his sword again, but when the general that was at Sirius shows up again on Earth and captures Cat, and the Rangers are busy, he not only takes it up again, but takes the morpher that Cat had made for him, becoming the Shadow Ranger. And besides the question of how his head fits inside that helmet, it is awesome. The ears on the helmet reflect that he's some kind of a dog creature. I wonder if Sky's version had those. And the number 100 points back to his first battle, taking out 100 Crybots, though it did form before his first fight. And the dark blue and silver and black color scheme of the suit is just awesome. His sword, which he calls the truest sword in the universe, has a wolf head hilt, which is just also really awesome looking. Also, the moment of him finally defeating Emperor Grum and cutting off the other horn so now they match, just cemented his awesomeness and his spot at number 5. Number 4, Jen, Pink Time Force Ranger. Oh ho ho, it's getting good now. Jen was the second leader of a Power Rangers team to be female after Delphine of the Alien Rangers. She had to rally her team after their original Red Ranger, Alex, was presumed killed by Rancic. Oh, and by the way, he was her fiancé. She had to keep the team focused on their mission and thus took the longest to really warm up and loosen up. Heck, she almost didn't let Wes stay on as Red Ranger. She's also the most passionate of the team. While she's dedicated, the loss of Alex made her rattleable, as we saw several times throughout the season. And even after seeing Alex again in the past for a short time, she slowly fell out of love with him and in love with Wes, which made the finale moment on the beach when she had to return to the future a huge tearjerker moment for the Ranger series. Unfortunately, there's not a heck of a lot to say about Jen's powers. As a matter of fact, her helmet takes a little bit away, as Sentai and thus Power Rangers has this tendency to give the Pink Ranger a heart whenever shapes are involved. I just don't think Jen would actually like having a heart-shaped visor all that much. Time number 4, Time Force Pink. Number 3, Cam, Ninja Storm Green Samurai Ranger. Yet another case of character and power equal awesomeness. Cam's development is great. In the very first episode, he is incredulous at the choices for the Power Rangers. Now, he does help them and slowly becomes friends with them, but even then he still resents them. His father promised his now passed away mother that he would prevent Cam from ever becoming a Power Ranger. But when a monster steals the Ranger's powers, he has no choice but to allow Cam to go back in time and recover his mother's samurai amulet, helping him to become the Green Samurai Ranger. No, the first Green Samurai Ranger. Better. Cam's Ranger suit is actually very reminiscent of the original Green Rangers, which factors into a hexagon rumor for this season. Watch Linkara's Ninja Storm review for more on that. In fact, just like Tommy, he could also remove the shield. But unlike Tommy, removing the shield actually made him more powerful, faster, and sleeker. His Zord was this awesome bird type of a thing that could form its own Megazord, combine with both of the other Megazords, and also combine all three to create one incredible Ultra Zord. Power Sphere number 3 was the Turtle Mace. Top 10 Ranger number 3 is Cam. So as always, here's a recap of the list before we head into the final 2. The original Rangers started the list. Lightspeed Rescue Titanium at number 10. Live and Love VIDA Loca Mystic Force Pink at number 9. Don't See Red Jason, but MMPR Red is number 8. Fly Like an Eagle Scott RPM Ranger Red is number 7. I hope Andros doesn't send the turtles after me either. In Space Red is number 6. Good Doggie SPD Shadow is number 5. This might make Jen mad enough to punch a tree, but Time Force Pink is number 4. Would Cybercam be higher or lower? Ninja Storm Green Samurai is number 3. Alright, here we are, the final 2. Now, since I said that I picked one Ranger from all 18 teams that there have been, you should basically know by now who's left. Jungle Fury is one, and let's just say Tommy's the other. But which one is number 1? And almost as importantly, which Tommy did I pick? Well, let's find out. Number 2, Tommy, Dino Thunder Black Ranger. Should I wait for them to get up? Seriously, are you guys alright? Yes, out of all the Tommy Rangers, my favorite is Dino Thunder Black. Yes, more than MMPR White. Yes, more than MMPR Green. Yes, more than MMPR Green. Yes, I'm serious. Yes, more than green. Let's start with the powers. I really like the Dino Thunder Black suit with the black and gold theming. It didn't have a shield, but he was able to form an energy orb with his staff. Sadly, his Zord, the Brachiozord, never entered battle, but it was the carrier Zord for the other Zords, making it all that much more important. I think the reason that this is my favorite Tommy is because he's just so different. The other 4 Tommy Rangers are all consecutive Rangers that are more or less the same character. This Tommy had to make major adjustments. This Tommy had people in his life turning evil and betraying him. And whereas he had always had mentors, this time he had to be the mentor to a new team of teenagers. Teenagers that were much different than he was when he was young. Now he had to be wise and guide them. And when it came time for him to become a Ranger himself once again, he had to make the somewhat brave decision to not let age be a number and get back into the fray. It was that combo of being both Ranger and mentor that make him the most fascinating iteration of Tommy to me, and thus my favorite. But not my favorite Ranger. Dino Thunder Tommy lands at number 2. Number 1. RJ, Jungle Fury Wolf Ranger. Oh, RJ. Just like Diva Talks last week, except completely the opposite. Just so much to love. RJ's Ranger suit is awesome, channeling a Muay Thai fighter with the padded elbows and knees and the tape. And that actually factored into his fighting style with a lot of strong elbows and knees, which really made him more of a brutal fighter than most of the other Power Rangers. He had an awesome Wolf Zord that could substitute for the Cheetah and combine with the Megazord. And when the other Rangers get their Master Zords, he is able to summon the Tiger and the Jaguar by himself to form that Megazord. Just sweet! And RJ himself is just the man. At first, he just seems like an out-of-this-world pizza maker that's completely out of touch with reality. But he's quickly revealed to be a Paishui master, deep, reflective, and knowledgeable. He never spoke condescendingly, and he always taught the Rangers what they needed to know exactly when they needed to know it. Not after, and not before, like when the Rangers needed to learn how to grow big, really summon their Zords. And RJ said he couldn't teach them that technique yet because the team lacked balance. And balance is what defines RJ. He just hardly ever seemed out of sorts. Okay, except for his werewolf arc, yes. Captured by Daishi, his father captured. He had emotion, yes, but he always kept everything in check. He is just the coolest Ranger ever, and he is number 1 on my list. Alright, as promised, let's do the Viewer's Choice Awards. With 3 votes, the viewer's choice for favorite Power Ranger goes to that angel descending from the heavens. Yes, it's Tommy as MMPR White. Thanks for voting, everyone. And this week's winner of the channel shoutout is JULIOTOYREVIEWS and Films. You can check out their channel by clicking the annotation, which I will place right here. Congratulations to you, Julio, and thanks so much, everybody, for voting. Now, I'm still in a sorting mood, so I still need your votes. Next week, we go from Zordon to Gosei, taking a look at the top 10 Power Rangers mentors. So, leave your votes for your favorite mentor right down below in a comment. Oh, and I also want to say this. This week, the random vote selector actually landed on someone else first. I'm not going to say who, I don't want to cause any trouble, but I will say this. I want to share publicity with people who are actively working on their YouTube channels. So I'll only select you if you have recently uploaded videos. Thanks! Thank you for once again leaving your eyeballs on another edition of Power Rangers Off-Season Reviews from beginning to end. I would love for you guys to leave some comments and let me know what you thought of this video. Let me know what you thought about my rankings. I'm sure you have some comments about that. And also remember once again to leave your votes for the top Power Rangers mentor. Leave those in comments right down below. I would really appreciate it if you would click the like button right down below to let me know that you liked this video. And if you really like the video, go ahead and click that subscribe button. That'll subscribe you to my channel so you get notified whenever I post videos, which I post about Power Rangers, I post about food reviews, sports, video games, just everything that catches my eye. Once again, I'd like to thank you all so much for watching, and until next time,